Welcome to the Business Spotlight. My name is Jada Walker. I am your host for today's conversation, and my guest today is Alexis Anderson. She is the founder and CEO of Anderson Legacy Group. Today, we'll be talking about her business, journey to business ownership, challenges, best practices, and take a peek of what it's really like to build and operate a business. So, Alexis, thank you so much for coming on here. Thank you for being here. I would love for you to give us a little bit about your background, of who you are, and talk a little bit about your businesses as well.
Yeah, thank you again for having me on, Jada. I really appreciate it. I own Anderson Legacy Group, which is actually a holding company for my other businesses. So I have some service companies, but I also own a couple tech companies as well. And then my 9-year-old recently started his first company.
What?
So we are a busy bunch over here.
That is wild. I'm like, you didn't even say that whenever we were just talking
Yeah.
before. So now I'm like, okay, the whole family is just in on this.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, he's very excited out, already pitching deals and all of that. So he's
What?
doing good.
So cool. I'm like, I hope my daughter like wants to do something like that. Like, show me that. Oh my gosh, that is
Yeah,
wild. Nine
one
years old.
day I will write a book about it. So that's my
Yes,
goal.
and
I'll write
I'm
a
gonna be
book
one
about
of the first people to buy it because I'm like, that is crazy. 9 years old. You're
it.
like,
Yeah.
what is that one guy's name? He has like all the 10X stuff. I can't
Oh,
think of his
Grant
name.
Cardone.
Yeah, his daughters. Like when I saw his daughters get on the stage, I said, "Are you joking right now?"
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm scared just talking a speech class. Like, what in the heck?
Yeah. I've actually been to Grant's house and I've had conversations with his daughters. They're
Really?
brilliant young ladies
And
and
they just seeing them on videos, I'm like, yeah, you're smarter than me. I don't even
yeah.
want to talk to you because I'm like, you're gonna outshow me at whatever age you are. You're like 10 or I don't even know how old
I
they are
know.
now, but I'm like, you guys are young.
I know. Yeah. I asked them a few questions on like, as a child's point of view, what did you like the best and growing up in this atmosphere? Would you ever change it? And they were very like positive and no, this is what I was, born to be and I'm so grateful for
Aw,
the opportunities. So they're incredible young ladies,
that
young
is
women. So
awesome.
yeah.
Man, now I'm like, they need to write a book too, now that we're
Right,
talking about books. But
exactly. Exactly.
but let's kind of set the stage. We got a little off track. So let's set the stage for our viewers and listeners. So generally speaking, what does your current ownership structure look like? Say, I know you're the head boss. Like, so I just want you to kind of talk about how it is having a holding company. I don't think I've ever talked to anyone that has had a holding company. So that's actually, I'm very interested in that.
Yeah, so I created the holding company to own my ownership percentage in each of the businesses. It just adds another layer of safety. And then the next step would be to add a trust that owns the holding company and not myself. So that's something that we're working towards. But early last year, I recognized there's power in partnership. And so
Mm-hmm.
my first couple of companies, I have been doing it all on my own. Just 100% owner, trying to be all of the seats all at once. And I started talking to some of our key employees in my property management company, actually. And they were like, hey, yeah, we would be interested in being, equity partners with you. So I created a partnership there with them. And then every company that I've started since then, I've made sure to pick a quality partner and truly to look at what my strong points are and what their strong points are and kind of offset those so we have a broader coverage of that. So I do have partners in all of my companies as
Nice.
well. And
That's
actually, it
awesome.
might be helpful. I'll share what they are so that we can kind of talk about those. So I own a cleaning company. It's ABC Cleanworks. I also own the property management company. I've talked about that one. That one's called Anderson Asset Property Group. I own an investment company, so I also purchase large multifamily as well. That one's Anderson Asset Investments. I own a short-term rental consulting company that is AA Host Services and a social media marketing firm that is A&H Media Co. And then my tech companies are cooperativeshares.com, which I would love to talk more about today. And then empireworks.ai, which is a CRM to help small businesses. And then my son started Boss Kid Vending, which he's legally not old enough to be a part of, himself yet. So
Right.
I am the owner of that one. And then lastly, the one we were just now getting off the ground is Anderson Assisted Living.
Nice. For like older people, right?
Yes. So assisted
That's
living facilities.
well, yeah, because like my granny, we try to talk to her about it. She's getting a little older and she's, being a little stubborn and doesn't want to have assistance. But we're like, you need it, lady, because you've fallen a lot in the last year, so you
Yeah.
need you need
Yeah.
it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, and then my business partner will kill me because I forgot ours. It's Prosperity Waste Solutions, which is a valet trash company. So I apologize to my business partner. I didn't forget about you.
That's
So
wild though, because you have like the property management and then plus that. So I'm like, that works, girl. I'm like,
well,
where did you learn to do like where is your brain from? I'm like, your brain seems foreign. I don't know. Because I'm like, this is wild that you are running all of these. Like my brain is like, I wouldn't be able to. I don't like that's so crazy. How do you manage that in your mind? Like, how do you keep your mental from going like, ah,
So I'm very like A-type personality. I'm very organized. Everything has its like every company has its own brand identity with its own color palette,
mm,
like brand palette, and that's what I use across everything. We
dang
do
girl.
partner meetings on Mondays and then like work days and meeting days. So I have a whole system that I've built out. And then truly the reason I created Empire Works AI is because I wanted a CRM that managed everything for me and I could go to
Right.
one place instead of going to 10 different logins and 10 different places to find one thing. So that's why I created that to truly help me stay organized in managing all of these companies.
I think it's cool that you even know how to create the CRM. Like that's that is just wild. Because I like every time I talk to my boss, he talks about like CRMs and then like he'll talk about all this different AI stuff that he's doing with Chat GPT. And I'm like, what are you even talking about, sir? I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm not in that, like my brain's not in that world. So
Yeah.
but that is so cool.
Thank
I,
you. Thank
yeah, I
you.
love meeting people who just know how to do all of these different things. It's like it's just wild to me that you know how to do all that.
Well, the
Yeah.
truly the reason I start my very first if you go all the way back, my very first company that I started was a marketing company. I
Mm.
was 17 and I sold it at 18. And
You're
so
blowing my mind. Like what?
I learned a lot from that. I thought I wanted to go to nursing school. And I did
Mm.
go to nursing school. I passed the NCLEX, I graduated, and then I decided I didn't want to be a nurse. So luckily, I was on scholarship, and my parents weren't too mad that I decided to completely change my career
Right.
path. But in the meantime of going through nursing school, I was a part-time leasing agent. And so after nursing school, I was like, well, now what am I going to do? Like, what's the plan now? Because this has been my plan for the
Right.
last 6 years. Is this is what I wanted to do. And so I just stayed in property management and I literally sat in every seat that you can sit in property management from a part-time leasing
That's
agent to
cool.
now an owner. So I got
Yeah.
to see all of that. And then I did some property management consulting for a little bit. And that's when I decided to go ahead and move forward with creating my own property management company because I got to see the good and the bad and the ugly and everything that was working well and kind of made that all into one. And then from there, that's where I started. We hired our cleaning vendors and we hired our trash vendors and we hired
Right.
all of these different things. And I got to see there what was working and what wasn't working. And so my goal was to create this ecosystem of companies that all support each other. And then
That's
create
cool.
leaders in each of those too from each of my partners. Like all of my partners were not, these MBA, like I I have all of this knowledge. They like one of them literally started out as a cleaner for me. And we do one-on-ones and we do coaching and we talk about goals and what we want to accomplish. And so not like seeing the potential in their like grit and wanting to work through these has
Hmm.
created partnerships for us and businesses
That's
from
really cool.
employees.
Cause like I used to work in leasing, so I kind of know like what you're talking
Yeah.
about, like the good and the bad. And I'm like, I've definitely worked at some properties where I was like, oh no, like it is
Yeah.
not together. And then I've worked at properties where I'm like, oh, this is like everything's so organized to where it's like crazy. But yeah, I definitely know exactly what you're talking about. And then plus with the cleaners and stuff, I've had bad cleaners come to our property, and then we have to report back and be like, yeah, we shouldn't hire them again. So
Exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
And then you being the owner of all the companies, you're like, yeah, I know that it's gonna be good, or like if it's not, I'm gonna go take care of it real quick. Like
Mhm.
that is cool. I'm like, you've lived like a million lives in one life right now. Like
Thank you.
that is so cool. Oh my gosh. So being a business owner, I know that some people that are newer to entrepreneurship, they feel as though they don't have enough time. So I'm curious, based on your experience, where you've lived a million lives already, if I were to give you an extra 10 hours back each week, how would you invest those hours? Like, would it be in the business, or would you do it like more like personal, like I need more family time or something like that?
So I'll be honest, it's gonna be in the business. Preferably working on the business, not in the business. I talk about that a lot when I, kind of coach our partners and leader, to become future leaders. Because let me just pause for a second. That's my mission with Anderson Legacy Group is to create leaders that feel confident in going out and creating future companies, feel confident in creating leaders from themselves in the future as well.
I like
So I
that.
guess if I got 10 hours back, that's truly what I would do. Maybe like slide a couple more to my kids because I have two kids. So, a couple more to the kids and then focusing on sales because that truly is the number one thing you should focus on for any new entrepreneur is sales and then marketing and then everything else.
Hmm. No, really, because it is like if you can't make a sale, then it's like, what are you doing? Because
Well,
I honestly think I'm not the greatest at sales. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I get nervous and then I'm like, should I ask the question or not? Like I'm that person. I'm just like, if
yeah,
you say no, okay, that's what I get. That's what I got. That's fine. Like you can say
yeah.
no. I'm like,
Well,
maybe you'll
and
think
that's
time later, but
And that truly, I mean, that comes with just being your own person. If you try to be someone you're not, and you try to be this like hard salesperson and like pushing and pushing and pushing, that's not naturally who you are. The person you're trying
mm-mm.
to sell it to is not going to like, they're not going to be receptive to that because they already have a red flag up of this person is not authentic. So if you just come in and be like, hey, this is me, like take it or leave it. Like here's what I have to offer, here's what problem that I see that you have that I'm trying to solve. And then if they don't see that, then like cool, thank you for your time, and then you move on. So that's kind of my recommendation for any entrepreneur or salesperson. Like don't try to be that cringy car salesman is what I always say.
No, really, the
No.
person that just keeps like, so hey, like, or even people that like they're
Yeah.
sometimes at the store where they're trying to get you to like buy, I guess like maybe what is it like cable or something? I
Move
don't even know
your
what they sell
phone.
anymore.
Yeah, move
But
your phone over.
it's like, no, I don't need it. And then they're like, oh, but like, duh. And it's like, no, I really don't need it. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like,
My
my phone
biggest
company is good.
Here's a tip. My objection, like handling to them, and then they leave you alone is my company pays for my phone. Thank you. Then they leave you alone. So,
Like, oh yeah, never mind.
right. We're
I'm
good.
like, I gotta talk to the company now. That is funny because I have heard a lot of people say that at the store, and I'm like,
Mhm.
why'd you say that?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Now I'm like, I'm gonna use that now.
Yeah. Perfect. There's a
Oh my
little tip
gosh.
for you.
So before we get into the nitty gritty of the business itself, let's kind of take a look into your background and what led you here. So why did you choose to go into business for yourself as opposed to going and working for other people and deciding not to make your businesses because there's a lot of them. That's so wild.
Yeah. So this is always an interesting question for me to answer. I feel like I was kind of pushed into it. I've always had that entrepreneurial spirit. I always wanted to create something outside of just like that 9 to 5, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
but when I say push into it, in property management is so fluid that you like buildings constantly transfer ownership. Property management companies are constantly
Yeah.
transitioning, and that creates a lot of job loss. And like, okay, well, this owner just bought out this building, canceled the management contract. There's no other building in this area. So where am I going to go? And that's kind of what happened to me. It was like, hey, um, I was a regional, and then they wanted to divest their property management side and just develop buildings. And so it
Mm.
was either like, hey, I either go and job hunt or I try to create it myself, and do
Nice.
consulting or do property management or whatever it may be. Um, and then like if that fails, then I'm just back in the same spot of finding a job. So luckily that's it's so far been successful. So that was kind of my journey to it, but I've always had that like entrepreneurial spirit, that want of like making something, leaving a legacy for other people, just past like the bank account. Um, I also work a lot with nonprofits, so that's truly like my what fills my cup on the hard days of business is working with
Yeah.
nonprofits and giving back to the community.
I love that. So has this had an impact on your growth as a business owner, like having to choose to create your own business instead of just going and like working for another one?
Um, I think it's given me the confidence to do it again and again and again, and that's how I
Right.
ended up with 9 companies. Because
I'm
and
like,
truly, I think that's what a lot of people struggle with when they're like creating a company and going out and selling it. You get this like sense of imposter syndrome, and then that like inhibits you from continuing to do it because you don't have that like belief truly that you do it. And truly, like I still have imposter syndrome. I was asked to be on the news today and like a morning show. And I was like, wait, well, no, like absolutely not. So like I
really?
still struggle with imposter syndrome, but I think that what helps alleviate it is just doing it and seeing that it's successful and seeing that money hit your bank account and seeing the people's lives that are you are making a difference in because you're putting food on their families' tables.
Hmm.
I don't know if that
That does
answers,
make you feel good.
but
No, it does. It does.
yeah,
I'm like, that would make me feel good. I'd be like, yeah, I want to continuously do this. Like, yeah, that
yeah,
would make me feel so good. I love
yeah,
helping people. So it's like, yeah, like whenever I was leasing, I loved whenever people actually would like be like, oh
yeah.
my God, like thank you so much. I've been looking for so long and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh yeah, we've got like 5, 10 units open right now. So come on.
Yeah, my
It used to make
favorite,
me feel so good.
right. Yeah, my favorite was working in affordable housing, truly, because
Yeah.
you're moving in those, the single moms that have been living in their car, you know.
Yes. Some people's stories would be so wild to me, and I would be like, I didn't even, like this is movie. Like it would be like movie plots. I'm like, you need to go to Hollywood and tell them your story because that is just crazy. Like,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I have a wild one for you we can talk about on or off the camera, but that's a
yeah.
property management story that I will be putting in a book one day. So,
You're like, that is the one that has stuck with me forever.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. I had to relocate my family out of our home because of it. So,
That just happened to my old coworker. She had to relocate because of the resident, and yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm some of those stories too.
Yeah. You get it. You get
I'm like,
it.
they're not my stories personally. Like, I've never had to move because of someone, but I know, like, yeah, my friends, they've had to move because they're like, I work here and I live here, but now I can't live here because of what's happening. But
Oh,
yeah.
and see, that's the crazy part. We didn't live on site. They followed me home. So,
Oh, yeah, they're crazy. They're
yeah.
crazy. What? Oh, no. Yeah, we'll talk about this after.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, my God. Goodness gracious. Okay. So, why do you think that your business is so unique?
Um, Here's where I think we shine in all of the companies, truly, is that we don't, because I'm not creating a lot of new things other than cooperative shares. The rest are out there. Like there's a CRM, there's other property management companies, there's
Right.
other valet trash companies, there's other, cleaning companies and short-term rental companies. Like they all exist. What I think
Mm-hmm.
truly makes us stand out is that when we're training our staff, we're doing personal development, not just
Mhm.
professional development. We're asking from day one, what goals do you have? Your 1 year, your 3 year, your 5 year. Okay, and then creating a plan to help them get there. So we have people coming to work that see this not just as a job, but also as a mentorship in general. On like, hey,
Hmm.
these I've watched my boss go from my position to that, to that, to that. They've reached their goals. And so being able to just take the extra time to truly like care about their personal lives and their personal goals, because I can't tell you how many people we've brought into one of the companies and like asked their goals and they're like, oh my gosh, I don't know. I've never been asked that before. And so then
Yeah.
they like have to truly sit down and think about it because they've never had that support system or that ecosystem or the network on just like helping them accomplish their goals and what they want to do. So,
Yeah. And then
um,
sometimes it's even hard to like do the steps, like knowing the steps how to complete the goal. That's
mhm.
my problem. I think I have that issue. I'm like, I have the goals, but I'm like, I can't ever think of the steps of how to get
Yeah,
through the goal. And I'm like, it just doesn't get done sometimes. So
yeah, yeah. And
I'm one of
but
those
then,
people.
you create a plan with them and then you do one-on-ones and you check in on them and like talk through it and offering that. It for one helps with retention. Two, you're building leaders within your company. And then your
Hmm.
clients see that because people are actually excited to be there. So it's
Yeah.
an all, I think that's where we truly do stand out compared to other companies.
Yeah, and it is also like people do pay attention whenever there's people who are consistently in the company and they're like rising up. So at least I would like I know some of our residents, whenever I was working in leasing, they would notice they'd be like, "Yeah, you guys have a new leasing agent all the time," and I
Yeah.
feel like, well, at least I'm still here. You know me.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I've been here for a couple of years. Like you know me. Calm down. I'm not going anywhere, even though I did. But whatever. Stuff
Yeah.
life happens.
I get it. I get it.
So why would you wow, I can't think of my words. Why do you think your customers and clients choose you instead of the competition?
Um, so I think there's a lot of that's a very loaded question. Um, what we do with our clients and our customers and outside of cooperative shares, because cooperative shares is truly the first thing on the market for co-ops. And everything else is already, operating and going. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
creating again that sense that the employees want to be there, that they get that genuine care, that you're doing the follow-up, you're doing the communication, that you have that personal touch of like a representative, no matter how big the company gets. And so when you're evaluating like your break points in business and making sure that you're ahead of those break points, at each stage and putting the processes in place before they need to be, you don't and your clients don't feel that growth gap along the way.
Mm, I like that. Yeah, I really like that. So
Yeah.
this is actually we're going to talk about marketing a little bit because you have a marketing business. So I'm going to guess you do all of your marketing, which is awesome. I
Yeah.
think that's really cool. But a lot of companies they obviously forget about marketing, and that's kind of why they go downhill a little bit. But
Mhm.
I'm always curious of what a successful business is doing. So what percentage of your monthly sales is typically invested back into your marketing budget?
Um, well, here's here's the fun part about that. We focus heavier on sales commission and less on
Okay.
marketing. So
Okay.
we do a lot of organic marketing, which means like non-paid, no ad spend marketing.
Oh,
Um,
I mean that's nice. At least you don't have to spend no money on your marketing. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And then we do more of the like when in doing that, we can supplement higher commissions for our sales team.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I've never even heard a company even talk about that. That's cool. Look, I'm like, I want to work for your company. Come here to Austin. I'm like, what the heck?
We're always hiring. So
My goodness. I'm like, I love my company too right now, but I'm like, you're making your company sound 1,000 times good. Like, what the heck? Oh my gosh. So, do you know how many? Oh wait, you don't. You like don't really use any. So never mind. I won't ask that question. What approach have you taken to track your leads? Like, I know you have your CRM, but have you ever used a different CRM before you created yours?
Yeah, so we use HubSpot. We tried
Oh,
Salesforce.
okay,
We've tried a couple others. And truly that's what prompted us making EmpireWorks.ai because it's all
right.
in
You're
one place.
like,
You can do the lead management, you can track your opportunity and the opportunity value like all in one spot. You do the marketing on there, you can post out your content. Um, it's a communication tool. So when you're
nice.
talking and getting messages from Facebook and Instagram and text messages and phone calls and emails. It all goes into that one client profile.
Like, oh, that's cool.
There's a coaching like portal where you can submit, like you can post your coaching um videos and charge a subscription through it. So yeah, yeah, it's a very
Nice,
robust software.
nice. That's cool. I'm like, I think ours kind of does that, but there's a lot that ours does. I don't even know about. I find out new things all the time, and then I'm like, oh, okay, like I'm glad
Yeah,
I know that now because that's really
yeah.
cool. But yeah, that's awesome. So let's move from marketing to sales. You could kind of mention it a little bit. So what does your sales process look like?
Well, it looks a little different for each company, a little bit.
Right.
So if you're just talking about the pipeline, obviously like we have the lead intake, and then we're doing like um a discovery to find out what pain points they may be having, because I'm a firm believer in that you're not selling something, you're solving someone's problem. And when you have that
Yeah.
framework and mindset, then the no's are just like, okay, you don't have that problem then, so which is great. That's great. But we don't have a problem for you to solve or for us to solve. Um, and then obviously like the follow up, and we have everything, a lot of our stuff automated through our system. So we have our AI bots doing the email automation,
Nice.
but then we have our
Yeah.
sales team creating that personal touch and following through and making sure that it's flowing appropriately and
That's like
all.
my favorite thing about AI. I'm like, it does all the stuff that I don't remember to do, you know? I'm like, yeah, keep me looking good while I forget.
Yeah.
Like,
Or time consuming. It's very time consuming.
yes,
Mhm.
yes. I'm like, cut down on all those hours that I was just gonna have to type all of this, and then you just did it for me. Like, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But I'm also like, for people who don't read through your AI stuff, you better start reading through it because
Oh yeah.
sometimes they don't get it correct. Okay, so make sure you read.
No, we have a lot of templates saved that have like different triggers and different like, it'll pop in their name,
Nice. Yeah.
whatever it may be, and customize it a little bit that way. But yeah, I agree with
Yeah.
that.
And I was
ChatGPT
gonna
is
say it's
so
funny
scary if you're
whenever
not
I
paying
put
attention.
something in and it'll like completely like not have their name right. And I'm like, that's not how you like where'd that even
Yeah.
come from? Where'd that spelling come from? I don't even know. But then I have to go all through and like correct it, which I'm like, that's fine. But I'm like, you should know.
Exactly.
Oh gosh. So how would you describe your leadership style in business today? And has it changed over the years?
Oh, um, I think it has changed from the very beginning, because in the beginning, I, you've had all these, everyone's had a boss at some point, typically, right?
Right.
So you know what you want from your boss and what you don't want from your boss. Now, when you're
Right.
a leader, um, you then see why they did those things, you know? Um, some of them, but
Yeah.
I did have a hard transition of like always being available to everyone. And when you
Oh
have
yeah.
200 employees, that's almost impossible to get anything done when you're always available to everyone. So I had to retrain a team, to truly go through the channels and to not be available, but then also encourage the thought process, and not just a well, figure it out of, hey, let's walk through this. If I weren't here, what would you do? And then like let's talk about what that process was so that you have the tools to be successful the next time this comes up.
Yeah.
Instead of just like, well, here's how you do it. So
Right.
I definitely think it's changed over the years, from being like everybody's friend to like, hey, we're doing this a little bit differently. We're gonna mentor you to be confident and you know how to do the X, Y, and Z in the future.
I like that. Because I've had the managers that were like, the micromanagers, or they're literally like on your back, basically doing the work for you. And I'm like, why'd you even
Yeah.
hire me? But and then I've had a boss where like she was just like, okay, I'm gonna teach you how to do it, and then you guys just go do it. If you need my help, come ask. Like that's it. I
Yeah.
loved that boss. I loved that boss. I was like, okay, girl, like yeah, I don't need you to like watch me like I'm a toddler, like my toddler right now. But
Uh-huh.
like yeah, it was like I loved that boss. She was probably my best boss I've ever had, like hands down. I mean, minus my current boss. If you watch this, like I love them. They're awesome. Um, oh my goodness. Um, so let's move forward and talk about what's to come next. So where do you see your businesses in the next 3 to 5 years?
So our goal again is to create leaders, which also means, selling companies. So we're going to
Right.
create multi-million dollar businesses and then sell them, preferably at a premium times EBITDA, and then create a new one, and then do it again, and then do it again, and do it again.
That is so crazy how you can just keep creating these businesses and then being like, all right, done with that one. Next. That's like
Yeah.
my mind. I'm like, I wish my mind worked like that. I would probably be where I want to be at this point. Like,
Well,
that is
and
just so crazy.
it is hard though because there is a lot of emotional investment in your
Yes.
business.
And my
And
emotions been everywhere the past couple of years. So I'm just like, yeah, that's not for me at this moment.
yeah. Well, and that's the hard part of you have to take out the emotion of it and just say like, hey, I've trained you up, you're perfect, I'm handing you to someone else, and then go on. So it's
Yeah.
not, I hear people reference their companies like babies all the time, and I'm like, no, 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 I would never
All the
sell my
time.
baby. So,
Right. Because
uh,
like, I'm not going to give up my baby or sell my
right,
baby. Like, no, that's crazy.
right. So, I, uh, I, yeah, that's kind of our goal is to
Right.
build up companies, create leaders that are confident to do it themselves, and do it again and again.
I love that. I'm like, I wish I knew more people like that because that's just really cool. Like, I want people like that in my life. Like, I need you in my inner circle, like so I can talk to you every day and be like, I need your advice, okay? Because you're very smart. Like, I'm just like, you're very smart and like you're up here, how I feel, and I'm like
Oh,
down here.
no. No,
I'm just like, that's so
I mean
crazy.
everybody has to start from somewhere, I didn't learn this all overnight either. So it took a lot of trial and error and what's working, what's not working, hard conversations. When you asked about the
Right.
leadership, like I do encourage that like direct feedback immediately. Like if something is not working and you don't agree with it, let's talk about it right now. Because that's the only way it's going to change.
Right.
So
Because if you just keep letting it fester, it's just gonna keep nagging at you, and you're gonna get more mad about it. And it's like, no, we just need to do it now before I get to that point.
well, and it's like it's just a personal relationship. Like if something is bothering you in a partner and you just keep it in, keep it in, and keep it in, and then your partner like drops a glass and breaks it and you explode on them because of something that
Yeah,
happened 2 weeks ago, then that's not a healthy relationship. Same
not
thing
at all.
in business. Yeah, same thing in business.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So as we wrap up, I have a few rapid fire questions for you.
Yeah,
Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay. What is the key to success for you?
Whew, no, I'm not ready. Um, Oh, because we're looking for like a one word answer, right? Like just a quick
You
answer.
it can have it doesn't I mean it can be quick, or you can have like a little like some type of quote that you think of that like makes you think of success
Okay.
or anything like that.
Okay, so success to me is not, a bank account. It's how many people you were building up along the way and how many people you were like influencing in any way, preferably positively. So, mine is how many lives I get to even make an impression on.
I love that. What is one piece of advice that you have for other business owners?
Don't get stuck in the analysis paralysis and making sure that everything is perfect. The people that are getting things to market the quickest and then correcting it along the way are the people that are going to end up being successful. Because if you sit there and you dwell on making sure it's perfect, it's never going to be perfect and it's never going to be launched and you're never going to make money.
That is the best advice because I feel like that's me. I think way too much about things.
Yeah.
Um, what is a book or podcast that you are currently reading or listening to right now?
Actually, I just finished Natalie Dawson's book, Leadership. So it's a really good
Okay.
book talking
I think
about,
I actually just heard someone talk about that book too.
yeah, yeah.
Now I'm like, I obviously need to read it because it's like the second time I've heard it. You said it was Natalie Dawson?
Natalie Dawson. Brandon Dawson's book is also very good. I read that one before this one. They're kind of in that Grant Cardone ecosystem that we talked about earlier.
Okay. Yeah. I'm like, I need those in my life. Okay. So before we get into the final question of the day, could you please share with our audience how they can follow you, learn more, and contact you?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Facebook under Alexis Anderson. You can also, I'm on Instagram as the Alexis Anderson, TikTok, Alexis Anderson, everything is Anderson, Alexis Anderson. You can also visit our Anderson Legacy Group website and learn more about each of the companies that are a part of that. And then that'll take you to the company's websites itself. And that is Anderson Legacy Group, GRP, not spelled out group, .com.
Awesome. Look, I'm glad you specified that too because people would be like, I can't
Yeah.
find it, but we'll
Yeah.
also we'll also put it down at the bottom for you guys.
Perfect. And
So
LinkedIn,
we
on LinkedIn as
have,
well.
yep, yeah. Make sure you find her, Alexis Anderson. Look, it's like right behind her, Anderson. So uh, we have come to the final question of the day, and that is, what is inspiring to you?
Oh, inspiring, I think really can mean a couple different things. So when I hear the word inspiring, like why do I wake up every day? What gets me going and excited about what I'm doing? And I go back to the people. I really do. Like that is the only reason I'm doing it. Is, building people up, seeing them accomplish their goals. The foster kids that I work with, like seeing them light up and know that they have a home when they get out of the system. Like, I mean, truly, it's about the people. If it weren't for that, there's no way I'd be working 100 hours a week. I would be at a job working
No,
for,
really.
you know, you know. So
No,
yeah,
really.
that's what it is. That's what's inspiring to me.
And I love that because I'm like, we need more people like that in the world, especially with everything that's been going on. I'm like, we need more people like you that want to lift people up and actually help them get to like their goals and be successful. I love that. That's awesome. Like I'm glad you came on the podcast today. I love this conversation.
Yeah.
For
Thanks
real,
for having me again.
because it's like you're down to earth. You just feel like I don't know. I just love this conversation. So it was really good.
Oh, I'm glad. No,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. This is probably one of my favorite podcasts that I've done so far. So
Yay.
it's very
Well,
comfortable.
yay. Well, this has been a great conversation. Of course, I've really enjoyed hearing your story. So thank you so much for sharing it. And then also, I want to encourage all of you who are watching to save this show and come back later to watch it again because Alexis really did have some great insights for business. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so that you can get notifications every time a conversation drops, just like this one. Thank you to everyone who joined us today, and a special thank you to you, Alexis, again for being here today. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.